A little bit about me. I am married. I've been married for 3.5 years to a woman that is far superior to me in all ways. We have 2 cats together, Langford and Larry. Langford is just a kitten, and Larry, somehow he's still alive, even though he's had his head shut in the door. He's ridden in a car motor for 20 minutes before somebody found him. He slipped down a flight of stairs while it was icy outside during the winter, and he disappeared for a month and came back, but he's still alive. So before real estate, I worked for a restaurant in Sedalia, Missouri, and this was while I was going to school at UCM here in town. That's actually where I met my wife. She was a server and a bartender there, and I started out as a host in 2013. And she just would not stop hitting on me, so I just finally gave in and we got married. And we just bought a house together, and that's really fun. Except it's not, because now we have actual real bills. My uncle, who's a real estate agent in St. Louis, kind of put the idea of doing real estate in my ear, and started in 2017 in Lee Summit, and then made the change to Remax last year. Have I ever met a celebrity? I wouldn't say that it's, in my mind, he's a celebrity. To me, he's like God on earth. But when I was a kid, and I still am to this day, I'm a huge Kansas Jayhawk basketball fan. And when I was a kid, I used to go to Bill Self basketball camp during the summer and then in the winter time. And he actually, my mom was up in the stands while we were shooting around at the winter one, and he stopped by and sat down next to my mom and started talking to her for like 20 or 30 minutes. And so I got the opportunity to meet him and get a picture with him. And to me, that was a celebrity. And my favorite local restaurant, man, it's really close. I have to say, since it was the first restaurant that I ate at whenever I moved to Warrensburg, I ate there with my grandpa because he helped me move in. I'd have to say it's probably Heroes, because me and my grandpa, we are both obsessed with patty melts, and I'm not sure that there's a better patty melt in town than what Heroes has to offer. My favorite date night is probably not my wife's favorite date night. My favorite date night is whenever it's just me and her and the kids. The cats are our kids. But we watch football. Get like pizza or Papa Murphy's or combination fried rice at Pink Hibachi, and just sit there, and I just watch it for 3.5 hours while she is like half asleep. That's probably my favorite date night. Hers is probably going up to Overland Park and going to Nordstrom and spending all our money, and then maybe going to a restaurant like Q39 or Jack Stack afterwards. That's probably her favorite. Grandpa, I love playing basketball. So when I was in middle school or high school, I had a friend of mine's mom ask me, what are you gonna major in college? What's your major gonna be in college? And I said, basketball. She just laughed, and I was like, yeah, I mean, you know, that's what I want to do. I want to play college basketball. And my outside of real estate, you know, my passion is, you know, sports, and, you know, just raising my cats, you know, making sure that they can live a fruitful life. And outside of that, not much. They didn't exist. What job would I apply for today? Well, knowing me, I probably wouldn't apply for a job. That sounds terrible, but I've worked for people and under people, and it just doesn't work. I think my dream job, and something that I want to get into and do on the side, is I really, really would love to start my own sports podcast someday. That's kind of a mixture of comedy and sports. I've always loved that. I've listened to sports talk radio since I was in second or third grade, so it's something that I would really enjoy doing if real estate didn't exist. If I'm not working and I have a day off, what would I find myself doing? Well, I'm self-employed, so that's pretty much every day. No. If it's nice out, I'd definitely be playing golf, even though I'm terrible. I mean, I'm absolutely awful. And then about 4 holes in, I'm just pouting. I'm just mad at everyone that I'm with, or if I'm by myself, I quit. So that just makes me feel worse, because I feel like my next door neighbor and my other neighbor, they like to if I just mowed my lawn, they like to mow their lawn the day after. And I'm not about that. See, my lawn is going to look better than yours. So if you feel like you're just gonna go out and just mow every single day, well, guess what? I'm gonna mow twice a day. All right, so if I could meet anybody in the world today, it would have to be Brad Pitt. I mean, obviously, because he's Brad Pitt. Whenever I was a kid, my parents had the VHS tape for Ocean's 11, and I wore that VHS tape out. Because actually, can I revert back? If instead of applying for a job today or doing a podcast, if I could do another job, it would basically be me in real life robbing casinos with Matt Damon, George Clooney, and Brad Pitt, because I mean that's the ideal situation for anyone. So my parents were like, hey, instead of flying to Daytona Beach, let's drive there. For those of you that don't know, Daytona Beach is 19 and a half hours away from Warrensburg, Missouri. So and my wife, outside of just driving from her house to Warrensburg or to her job, she doesn't drive ever. And so I drove all the way there and all the way back. We left at 5 a.m. on the way back from Daytona and got home at 2 a.m. and I drove the entire way, and I was hallucinating half of that time, and it was just awful, just so bad.